Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Environmental Social Justice. I am your host, Wendy Nystrom, and today I have Adam Gallant. He is the master roaster and founder of Obsessive Coffee Disorder, of which I happen to have my favorite little bag right here. Afraid of the Dark is one of my favorites. It's a nice dark roast. So welcome to the show, Adam.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime. So when you and I met, it was actually over e-waste when I was visiting Nashville.
Yep.
And you and I, got to talking, and you gave me one of your sample packets. And I became obsessed. So could you please tell us first a little bit about your background that led you to roasting your own coffee?
Well, I grew up drinking coffee since I was 4 years old. My great grandmother was giving me coffee since I was little. Wasn't great coffee, but I've always drank it. About 10 years ago, I was buying just ordinary run-of-the-mill beans and grinding them and putting them in a reusable K-cup. And that was my morning cup of coffee. And I was fine with that. But one day I did a French press out of those same beans, and it was exponentially better than running through the Keurig machine. So I started Googling, went down the rabbit hole, what makes the best cup of coffee. And it led me to fresh roasted coffee beans. Now, where I lived at the time, they were very, very hard to get at any retail spot. You could get, the stuff off the grocery store shelf, but you could not get fresh roasted coffee beans anywhere. So I started ordering online, and it was kind of painful. There's shipping charges and things like that. And there's nobody to talk to. So I eventually opened up a dropship company and teamed up with a roaster out of California, and they roasted and packaged and shipped all my coffee. I never had to touch it. And that was okay. It wasn't very profitable, and I didn't have any control. So when I moved here to the Nashville area, I was talking with a roaster, and I was going to team up with him to give myself a little control. And he told me, if you really want to make it something special, you got to learn how to roast. So after talking to him a bunch and learning the trials and tribulations he went through, I decided to learn how to roast. And so my wife and I remodeled our garage and turned our garage into a roastery, bought the equipment, and it was a success right out of the gate. As soon as we started selling coffee, first we started giving free samples to all our friends and neighbors, and they all loved it. I think to date, I've only had one person say, no, it's not really for me.
No, they're wrong.
That's my thought too.
When I tried it, so just so everybody knows, I bought this all by myself. There were no coupons or discounts. I wanted to try it. And it's actually some of the best coffee I've had because it is freshly roasted. And one of the things you told me about that I didn't realize is the coffee you get on the shelf at your grocery store can be about a year or so old from its roasting date.
Or more.
I did not know that. Or more. I did not know that because I guess it travels so far.
Yep. And the fact of the matter is, coffee doesn't go bad. It just gets stale. So as the coffee oxidizes over time, it loses all the good flavors that you get when it's freshly roasted.
And one of the things, because people are like, well, what does this have to do with environmental or social justice or anything like that? Carbon footprint, folks. We're talking carbon footprints here. So Adam is actually an expert in recycling and e-waste and circularity. So it's no doubt that roasting your own, this actually has a smaller carbon footprint to keep it local. Yes, it was shipped to me. I understand that, but it didn't start going all around the world, traveling in many places, and then ending up in my grocery store. So that's kind of what we're focusing on, is this small footprint, small local roasters, and keeping it centralized. So talk about the importance of that, if you don't mind.
So there's something else that I do that helps with the carbon footprint. It's the type of roaster that I use. So I use an air roaster, which uses much less power to roast the same amount of beans that a gas-powered roaster would use. So my air roaster, one batch uses about 4 kilowatt hours. So
That's pretty good.
that's pretty low as far as roasters are concerned. So.
And yeah, it's you like got your own machinery, keep it local, obviously lower energy cost. And then you've got all your different flavors because you know, people, I like dark coffee. I mean, it's just my thing. You've been drinking it since you were 4. I have a feeling maybe your grandma probably added a lot of milk to that and it wasn't like black coffee.
Well, I'm a cream and sugar guy myself. That's what I grew up with. I still like cream and sugar in my coffee. I never enjoyed black coffee. But my coffee, I can drink and enjoy just a straight cup of coffee. And it's due to my roasting style. The air roasting allows me to remove the skin or chaff from the equation. I remove about 90% of it, and that's where a lot of the bitter forwardness comes from in coffee. Especially the darker you roast it, the more bitter it gets. And because I remove that, every cup is smooth, no matter what roast level it's at, and you can really taste those flavor notes that you read on the back of the package. You know, you can taste
and that is absolutely true. Yep. Like on the back, by the way, I have to say the dog is adorable. I am loving the dog. I actually, you gave with the shipment, I got a little magnet with it, which was really cute.
Yep.
But you're right, it's not bitter. Yeah. What's the story with the dog?
Every roast. So the dogs are my wife's creation. She loves dogs. We both do. But she has a program and she input data and it spits out these dogs to her specifications. And every roast has its own little spokes doggy. So this is our Ritual at Dawn Light roast. And
Love it.
He's got that guy there. Our new, that we just launched on Monday, our new Booze Hound.
That I'm so excited about.
He's got a nice little boozy pup there.
Is that a Saint Bernard? Because that would be spot on.
Yep, it is. And this is, we get a lot of comments on this. We got a lot of requests for decaf. We're caffeine addicts over here. But we had to produce the decaf, so the devil made me decaf. And we got this little guy here.
Oh, that is spot on.
Yep.
No, that's your wife does a really good job with that. And
she does.
And I just love the fact that you're keeping it like local and keeping it within your community and keeping, you know, I know you have to import the beans. You can't grow beans in Nashville just yet.
Right.
But they're high quality Arabica, right? 100% Arabica.
Yep. That's all we use.
And that's pretty much the only thing you're shipping in. I mean, you're keeping this within your, you know, and being an expert in sustainability, you know what to do and you know what to make it.
Well, most importantly, we source our beans through a broker that works directly with small farmers. So these are high quality, specialty grade, small farm grown beans. These these farmers get a fair price. They're worked with to teach them how to grow sustainably and responsibly, and make sure there's no child labor and things of that nature, all those icky things we hear about in many industries around the world. So we do our best to be responsible and sustainable.
And that I love the fact, I mean, the social justice aspect is very important, and my bad for not knowing that ahead of time. So I'm glad you mentioned it, because usually I do pretty good research, but I must have forgotten. I mean, I've talked to you so much about e-waste that this one just went out of the brain. But having social justice and fair trade and good working conditions, not having children in fields because it's not safe for them, that is so important, especially when, other countries that don't have the same laws that we do. And I know a lot of people that do work with farmers in Africa, primarily both Eastern and Western Africa, now that I think of it, and they make darn sure that everyone is treated well, has a fair wage under decent working conditions. Because that is so important that you demand that and you follow up and you look into it. So you're working with those people. That's very important to me. So I'm glad you brought that up. And then just quality of life improves. I mean, you're giving them a quality of life they would not have otherwise.
So on the other side of things, you notice that our brand is kind of an irreverent take on mental health with all of our roast names and our company name. And on the back end of things, we like to support mental health nonprofits.
Yes.
So we do that by, there's a local agency called Tennessee Voices. We will sponsor them from time to time. And there's another organization called Jacob's Audible, and they approached us and they said, we would really like it if you could do a fundraiser for us. So what we ended up coming up with is I created a roast line just for them. It's co-branded Jacob's Audible and Obsessive Coffee Disorder. And every bag of that, a larger portion of the profits from that go to that organization specifically. And they support families who have children with autism.
Bringing circularity right back to the work that you're doing in e-waste and helping people out. No, I remember you talking about that with when we met about the e-waste and the recycling, because there's also another e-waste recycler that we all met on that same trip, and they only hire people with special needs and who have autism. And I believe the two of you guys are now collaborating on a few things.
Yes, we are. So we used to do a recycling deal with them. I think we're strictly their only downstream vendor on that side of things. And I'm doing some resale deals for them to help bring in some revenue to help provide more jobs.
That's excellent. I just love when things come together so flawlessly. And when you guys met, I could see you guys kind of pulling off into a corner talking, and I'm like, that's just neat. I just love things like that.
So I've been over there, I think three times now, to visit, see how things are going. We're collaborating, trying to create efficiency and find ways to find more revenue for them.
Yeah. Yeah, because they are a nonprofit, and like, Dave is awesome. You guys will work really well together. I mean, you're kind of very similar people with passions about helping people and always standing up for others.
Just on the phone with Dave last week.
Well, I interviewed Dave, I think now, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that, and had him on the show. But more importantly, about you and obsessive coffee disorder, how do people order? Because I'm in California, guys, and I got it. No problem. It arrived pretty quickly, actually. And I was able to track my shipping, which is something I obsess about myself.
Well, the best way to find it is to go directly to the website, www.obsessivecoffeedisorder.com. I know it's a long one.
But it's easy.
Just remember, obsessivecoffeedisorder.com.
That's awesome. And it's actually, just so people are wondering, even though it's small batch and it is local and everything, it's really reasonably priced. You're not going to be paying much more than you would at the grocery store. So don't automatically think, oh, it's out of my price range, because I'm one of the most frugal people you will meet on this planet. And I was like, oh, that's actually a really good deal. So if I did it, I'm pretty sure 90% of the population out there would be like, yeah.
We also have a subscribe and save where you can get it shipped to you without you having to think about it. It'll charge your card every month, 6 weeks, whatever you deem necessary, and you can build your own subscription. And you save 15% off that way.
That's pretty good. I might have to look into that, because right now my husband and I have dueling coffee companies, and that's why I've got my own French press. I'm just doing my own thing now, and he can have his. That's fine. Whatever works for you.
I prefer French press. It does extract the best flavors in my opinion. It
does. And it's, you kind of feel a little special with your own little pot next to you. I have a little coffee corner that I'm building out, because I have my little desk set up. I have a little coffee corner set up, and I'm going to be putting it over there once I bring it back from downstairs where it was being cleaned. So a little bit of insider information. Yes, I do clean my coffee pots after every single use. You have to. But on that, Adam, love what you're doing. I love the fact that you're in the circularity industry. I love the fact you're doing the coffee. The mental health issue is also vitally important, that people know that that's out there. And the collaborations you're doing, you're just an all-around kind of Renaissance man of environmental, if I can say it.
Well, I've always lived by the theory that if people are going to remember me, I want them to remember me in a positive light. And
I believe that will happen. I honestly believe that will happen. So Thank you. And thank you for coming on the show. I know that you just finished roasting a batch, so you literally just came in from roasting.
Yep.
Kind of excited about that personally. But yeah, guys, please check out Obsessive Coffee Disorder. You can get subscriptions. You can order it. It's awesome. I am personally obsessed with the Afraid of the Dark roast because I like it really dark. I got to try the bourbon one though. That's the bourbon infused one's my next one.
If you like
dark passenger. Ooh.
that is my extra dark.
Okay.
A little doggy for that one.
Oh, that's my dude. There you go. Okay, so now I've got a little tasting corner I've got to do. I'm gonna have to do my own tastings. But no, Adam, thank you for your time. What you're doing is awesome work. You're helping people. You're getting us caffeinated, which Lord knows I need it. And guys, again, Obsessive Coffee Disorder. They're based out of Nashville. They will ship nationwide right now. You're not worldwide yet, but nationwide.
Yep.
Check them out. They're doing good things. And Adam, I honestly thank you for your time. You're doing great things.
Thank you, Wendy.
Anytime. So guys, I am Wendy Nystrom, your host with Environmental Social Justice, and we're now proudly sponsored by BioLogo. They just make life better. We'll catch you next time. Have a good night.